When we had last left Team Bald, they had finally thwarted the absolute and its grave threat to not just Baldur's Gate, not just the Sword Coast, but perhaps the entirety of mortal life as it was known, and perhaps even beyond. But thankfully, they were successful, in no small part thanks to a lot of their friends, but no measure of self-sacrifice. No small amount of self-sacrifice was involved as well. Now, sometime after those events had passed, they found themselves reunited once more, back at camp, ready to speak with old friends one last time. This is Baldur's Gate 3. Welcome back. Let's do it then, huh? Let's see. Oh, I guess we better get talk with animals, huh? Okay. And do a quick save. I guess we'll talk to Scratch, who is right next to us immediately.
A familiar sight. Scratch can't quite speak around the thing he has in his mouth.
What have you got this time, Scratch? Scratch, come here, boy. I'm so glad Withers remembered to invite my favorite companion. Leave. Alright. What have you got this time? I think we know exactly what it is.
I found this. It smelled like you, so I kept it. Seemed like something you might like to throw?
Honestly, I'm surprised we didn't keep Scratch. Honestly, who is Scratch with now? Withers? Where are you living now? I'd be happy to, but first, how have you been?
Oh, I've been so good. I've got a nice home in the city now. A girl named Mindy says I'm her best friend. She's mine too. Also you. Aww. And Albert. I've got so many best friends, I hardly know who to play with.
Wait, you regularly meet with the Albert too? I'm so glad to hear you've fared well since our travels together.
I certainly have, and I always will. Forever, I think. And so will you.
Aww. This is a dangerous object. I'm not sure we should be playing with it.
You know best, but a little fetch never hurt anyone, as far as I know.
Okay. Ooh, the little whistling. And the music. It's very good. Inert astral prism. This artifact, once so powerful, now sits empty and quiet. Huh. Oh, you kept it. Okay. Alright. Shadowheart? Whoa. What the hell are you wearing?
It may just be wrong.
Starting to wonder if you'd show up.
Are you joking? I've been counting down the days. I had reservations, actually. I thought it might be too bittersweet. Of course I did. You lot could hardly manage without me. Shadowheart, isn't it? Oh my god, you can play like you don't remember anyone? I was wondering the same of you. I didn't think you'd want to be within tentacles' reach of me again. A whirlwind visit from Avernus is no mean feat. It's a wonder how Withers managed to bring us here. It's a wonder.
He's quite powerful for a fellow content to loiter in our camp the whole time, isn't he? I wonder if he'll ever reveal what he's been up to exactly. But no matter. If Withers' wily ways are what it takes to have you here with us, then I'm all for it. Oh, come here, will you? It's been forever. You feel a little more substantial than before. Less camping and scrounging off the land, I take it?
Wait, really? In Avernus? You can say that again. I've slept under the stars enough for one lifetime. You know, I miss that, actually. You calling me chubby? Brains are leaner than many food sources. I'll have you know. I'll take that as a compliment. You look good, too. Nonsense. I am as disciplined as ever. I'm not sure how much you truly want to know about my diet, but I've been getting by just fine. I'm surprised there's no, like, unique answer here for being in Avernus. I guess, is it possible to settle down in Avernus? Or is it just, like, constant, we're running between fighting people nonstop? Okay. Let's see. We'll go with this one. Maybe by us saying it, we've made it a reality. You can say that again. I've slept under the stars enough for one lifetime.
I'm not entirely sure I'd agree. In fact, I found a nice meadow not far from where I live now. Every now and again, I'll spend the night there. For old time's sake. I'm glad you seem well. Truly.
And not unlike what she did at Viconia's, I don't know what you would call it, coven. The feeling's mutual. Let's not get too sentimental. Tell me what you've been up to. You must be wondering what I've been doing this past while. Tell me what you've been up to.
Wandering, mostly. The adventuring life is almost a tonic when you're not constantly threatened by brain monsters and cultists. I can finally see the world beyond the cloister.
Come on, tell all. Where have you been? What have you seen? I thought you might crave a little peace and quiet after all that happened. It sounds like you're doing right by yourself. Trying to escape bad memories? Tell all. Where have you been? What have you seen?
One of my first stops was the House of the Moon in Waterdeep. It's the largest temple of Selûne in existence. It seemed like the perfect spot to reflect on my parents, on where they came from. And where I came from too, I suppose. Hard to imagine, isn't it? Me, of all people, in the lair of the Moon Witch herself. God, your truest act of heroism was putting up with all that char and drivel I was spouting for so long.
Your parents would be proud of you. You're right, I was truly heroic. Are you going to turn to Selûnite rhetoric now instead? Waterdeep, you say? Did you bump into Gale? Ooh, man, there's a bunch of good things here to say. Did you bump into Gale?
We had tea on his balcony. Tara even deigned to sit on my lap for a while. You know, I think entire forests must have been felled to quench that man's thirst for books. He seems to be doing well. In his element.
What else have you been doing? You must be wondering what I've been doing this past while. What's next for you? Turn to other matters. What else have you been doing?
Well, I've had run-ins with my former fellow Sharans on a couple of occasions. Word seems to have spread of what happened at the cloister. Now other chapters of Shar worshippers see me as a prime target to offer up to their lady as a sacrifice. Don't worry. I know their tired old tricks better than anyone. They'll need more than a hooded cloak and poison blade to best me. Especially when I have a friend on the inside keeping me abreast of their predictable little plans.
Friend on the inside? You mean Nocturne? Just keep safe. Don't do anything I wouldn't. You mean Nocturne?
None other. The matter of her faith and allegiances remains complicated, let's say. But she is still my oldest friend. I have hopes that perhaps she might turn from Shar entirely given time. But that's a decision she will have to make for herself. If that day comes, I'll be ready.
Man, Shadowheart seems to have a lot of setup for, like, a future game or, like, an expansion if they were still going to do one. Huh. I wonder if everyone else gets this treatment too. Weird. That said, right, since we know Larian isn't going to be doing Baldur's Gate 4, but someone will be. I wonder, I don't know how I feel about another studio sort of carrying on with these same characters, right? Like, I feel as if more ancillary ones, you know, like you could have Jahira or Minsk show up. But I wonder about, like, I guess it really depends on how well they handle the development, right? Yeah. And in another sense, yeah, maybe it'd be best to not include them. Because you would have to commit canonically to, like, what route would you go with Shadowheart. That said, Larian totally committed to stuff canonically going one way or the other in Baldur's Gate 1 and 2, right? Yeah, I don't know. I guess at the end of the day, it just matters, like, do they have the chops to pull off telling that kind of story for doing that kind of writing? Whoever it is. Well, you must be wondering what I've been doing this past while.
Must I? You presume a great deal. I'm joking. Of course I want to know. Tell me all.
You're polite to ask when I must reek of brimstone. Been carving my way through Avernus with Karlach. Oh, you know, this and that. Keeping busy with Karlach and Avernus. Not exactly restful, but at least I have good company. My new form has dictated that I live a quiet existence, far from prying eyes and panicky hearts. Keeping busy with Karlach and Avernus. Not exactly restful, but at least I have good company.
I'm glad you two have each other. Hells, I'd be almost tempted to come along if you'd have me. Perhaps if your adventures ever lead you out of Avernus permanently. Hopefully these meetups will become a regular occurrence. It's not that I miss the tadpoles, but at least it brought us together. Now we've got to make the extra effort ourselves.
Oh my god, Shadowheart, dropping hints that she's, like, feeling lonely in some way, huh? Don't worry, we'll keep in touch. Getting a group of friends to regularly agree on a time and a place can prove challenging. Oh my god, they've done it. Okay. Sure, let's say that.
Don't remind me. Someone's always got somewhere else to be. But let's do our best all the same. After all, we've faced down bigger threats than wrangling together a few social calendars.
Alright, good talk.
Don't be a stranger.
Let's see. Should we check over here? Oh, let's check in with the owlbear.
Friend? Friend! You came! Big brother Scratch, too! Happy.
Pet him. You're a lot bigger than Scratch now. I'm glad Withers brought you here. What have you been doing since we last met? Leave. Let's pet him. Aww. Does it live with Damon, I wonder?
Yes. Miss this. More.
Wait, will there actually be something else if I do it again? I don't know. Maybe not.
Yes.
Okay.
Miss this. More.
You're a lot bigger than Scratch now.
Yes. Big. But Scratch is smart. Teaches me many things. Like Big Brother.
I'm glad Withers brought you here.
Withers? No. You smell very delicious. Follow smell, find you.
Oh, okay. What have you been doing since we last met? Or since last we met?
Lots. Make friends with a turtle, a cat, a kraken. Kraken eats my cat friend, so I bite, kill. With shiny clothes, I am strong. Tired now. Want sleep. Want cave.
You need someone to look after you. How about Halsin? Sounds like you need someone to look after you. How about Shadowheart? Get some rest here, then. You've earned it. Stop whining. Leave. I don't know. I feel like Shadowheart could do with, right? She just, like I said, was dropping hints that maybe she was feeling a little lonesome. Yeah, how about Shadowheart? Though I do feel like Halsin may be the more responsible of the two, or at the very least, if not the more responsible, the more experienced in caring for animals. Okay, how about Shadowheart?
Nice lady. She gives pets and tasty things. I like her. I go to her.
A most welcome sight.
Faerun's own, Lae'zel. Huh. Astrally projected. While your body resides in the cold expanses of the astral sea, you have projected a likeness of yourself here for the evening. Okay. She's still weakened by virtue of the Zathis encounter. Okay. Lae'zel?
The Hell's Walker returns. For 2 months, Orpheus trained me in the ways of the comet. For 2 more, I skewered Kithraki bellies. And for 2 more yet, I traveled through Limbo. I never imagined we'd be standing toe-to-toe on this day, in this place. Nothing but allies, I always told myself. A necessary partnership. But in spite of every strained word, every barbed glance, seeing you brings me even more pleasure than taking a Royal Inquisitor's head.
Yeah, God. Like we said before, the implications of what went on here in this game for Githyanki culture is, like, really wild. It's good to see you. You're looking a bit less solid than I expected. Your efforts to topple Vlaakith are well underway, then. I figured the Lich Queen would be dead by now. What's the holdup? Yeah, let's say the last one. Let's be a little butthole about it. What's the holdup?
We've spilled blood, gained a foothold in the astral, but still we need allies. And one beyond reckoning has made itself known. Zareth Minyaragith.
Who? Zareth Minyaragith? What is that? Nod your head as if the word means anything at all to you. What is that?
Not a what, but a who. The immortal god king of the Githzerai. An exiled people. Once kin with mine, until the madness of civil war ripped our one sky into 2. Our Gish sent word.
Oh my God, what the hell's going on back there?
Give through the cosmos. He's agreed to parley. It's fallen to me to secure an alliance.
Hold on, the great warrior Lae'zel on a diplomatic mission? The best choice for the job. Your tongue is as learned as your blade. The enemy of my enemy is my friend, as they say. Hold on, the great warrior Lae'zel on a diplomatic mission?
I was as surprised as anyone when Orpheus spoke the order. My blade is keen as ever. But it was you who showed me that a proper victory doesn't always require a razor-sharp edge. Sometimes, a sincere plea is more persuasive than a dagger against the neck. Minyaragith is an ascetic.
Referring to
he reached out
an early camp encounter with her.
This is his way. It is in this spirit that I must meet him. And if he refuses, I carry on. Gravity pulls me in but one direction. I am a warrior of the comet. I will not rest until I burn Vlaakith's bones to ash and smash her phylactery to pieces. My people will be free. But you've heard that refrain before. Zealous, bossy, insistent. All part and parcel of my undeniable charm.
Okay. A shame you couldn't be with us in person. It's like talking to a ghost. When will I see you again? Good luck, Lae'zel. I do quite like Lae'zel, and you know what? Here at the final video for this playthrough, I'll spill the beans. I am planning, for the Dark Urge playthrough at least, I do think I want to try romancing Lae'zel. I do quite like her a fair amount. I do actually really enjoy Lae'zel, right? Her shenanigans and all of that. So I've been kind of thinking about and settling in on that. Right, now that we sort of know more of the personalities of the various party members and all that, right? And like the arcs that they can take. That said, will she be the same sort of Lae'zel that we have come to know and love here, or maybe she'll go down a different path? Who can say? Alright, when will I see you again?
Soon. When the comet has risen. When the Lich Queen has crumbled to dust. I miss this place. More to the point, I miss you. I wouldn't even deny it with Vlaakith's vorpal blade at my neck. Though, I'd rather it not come to that. Now go, mingle a bit. That's the word, right? Mingle. I'll be back one day. The Overgod himself couldn't keep me away.
Okay. Or should we be talking to everyone twice?
This is... nice. Yes. I think that's the right word for it.
It is kind of incredible that I can speak telepathically to an astral projection. Oh look, Shadowheart's title is Moon Blessed Adventurer. Huh.
I've missed wine. Had to resort to making my own cider recently, which isn't bad, don't get me wrong. But a girl can't have fun with apples alone.
Wow. Yeah, we should definitely talk to everyone again. You could have a future in brewing. Start your own label, maybe. Shadowheart's Special Scrumpy. I have a confession to make. I may have volunteered you for something. Oh shit, we can bring that up. Can I have another hug, please? Leave. I may have volunteered you for something.
Is that so? And what liberties did you decide to take, exactly?
I was hoping you might like a new companion. Rather large, feathered, well-mannered mostly. The owlbear cub. Or well, just owlbear now. I thought you might be willing to look after him. Let's go with the first one. I was hoping you might like a new companion.
The owlbear? Of course I'll have him. If he wants to come with me, that is. I'd have offered sooner, but everything was a blur after the battle. I thought he'd gone to roam free. Are you sure he'd want to join? I'm not exactly settled anywhere right now. It could be dangerous at times.
Well, he's not exactly settled either. Hardly anything new for either of you. He'll love it, I'm sure. Then you'll be able to look out for each other. Yeah, unless we forget, Shadowheart does like animals, right? But though to reiterate, still nowhere near as much experience caring for them as Halsin, but still. Then you'll be able to look out for each other.
All right, then. It's settled. Oh, the things we'll get up to.
Aw, all right.
Don't be a stranger.
Sorry, it feels weirdly clingy to say, could I have another hug, please, to someone who I'm just friends with, right? Okay. Anything else over here? Oh, there is actually some booze.
Bard knows some of my favorites, unless my taste in music is too
Head over this way. Oh wait, do I still have... Yeah, I can still do Karsus's Compulsion. Do I still have all the little pieces and junk? Maybe I do. Oh look. I'm wearing Karlach clothing. Hot pants. Hewn with rough style, these trousers are fire resistant. bloodproof, and tough to pull off unless you're a big barbarian lady. Oh my god. The Devil Crushers. Stained with imp guts and warmed from within by hot, sweaty toes. Oh yeah, this is really just Karlach stuff. Like literally, I'm wearing her clothes. Okay. Let me double check this real quick. Okay. We're good. Look, gotta keep it YouTube safe.
Nice.
Alright, and Will.
God, I smell like a 70-year-old cinder. Withers yanked me from Avernus with my blade halfway through a Cambion's belly without so much as a chance at washing up. And from the smell of it, you're in the same condition. I'll forget all that. By the stars' light and the moon's glow, it's so good to see you, and I've got so much to tell you. The Hell Hunt's no mere duty. It's a thrill. The demons I've disintegrated, the devilkin I've bled, the stories I could share. I don't suppose you'd indulge me.
I do feel like, right, like if I had known ahead of time, I would totally have played it differently. Right, I would have tried to romance both Karlach and Will together, legit. And like, right, we would for real go for like the three of us in Avernus, right? Huh. I wonder how far you can go with that, you know? I'm so curious about it. A tale of battle told by the legendary Blade of Avernus? I'm all ears. Tell me I'm listening. It sounds like you're faring well without your infernal powers. I'm not interested in any stories, Will. I'm all ears.
Yes, but just the one, or I'll be yammering all night. You want to hear about the Amnitsu at the Styx? The three-tusked Orthon? Or the invading Gorestroy?
How about the one at the Styx? I want to hear about the Amnizu.
Styx devils, they're called. They usually prefer the frozen wastes of Stygia, but Zariel's got a few of her own for guarding the River of Blood. Fat bastards, all of them. Was on the heels of a Merrigan who'd been stalking the wild hills and sprinted a little too close to the Styx. I felt my mind start to drain, an Amnitsu speciality. Bought just enough time for one of its minions to grab me and dangle me over the river. Could feel the Styx tugging at my memories as I hung over it, eager to drink me dry. Good thing I never touched foot in the hells without my companion wolf, Lily. She was just the distraction I needed. She nipped at the minion's heels and I leapt from its grasp, unsheathed my short swords, and rushed at the Amnitsu in a fury. When we'd finished, all that remained was a pair of paltry wings atop a pile of viscera.
I've missed traveling with you. You were a pleasure to be around. Incredible story. I wish I'd been there to see it play out. You've done a lot of killing for a warlock without his powers. Your father must be proud of you. Have you been visiting? Leave. Have you been visiting your father?
I've seen him more than a few times, and he's as proud of me as I am of him. He's leading the city's renewal, opened the gates to all newcomers, rebuilt the council from scratch. And he's back in his element, commanding the Flaming Fist with brave heart and no shortage of empathy. The likes of Gortash can bend people's minds with a few chosen words. No tadpole needed. Bane's Chosen primed the Fist for a war they weren't meant to win. He convinced them there was an assassin hiding in every shadow, that cruelty was the correct answer to crisis. With a few exceptions, fathers pardoned every last fist. If my forgiveness not be Tyr's will, so be it. I shall forgive them all the same. His words, not mine. He still believes in the bow and the blade, but with Floric's help, he's teaching the Fist a new lesson. Valor is found not in the wounds you inflict, but in the lives that you have bettered. May they all take it to heart.
Okay. You know, I've missed traveling with you. You were a pleasure to be around.
I've missed you too. The rush of battles we fought, the heart-to-hearts, the nights around the fire, the comfort of knowing I didn't face the unknown alone. If I had to do it all over again, and I'd rather not, to be clear, I can't imagine not having you at my side.
Aw. Man, too bad we can't invite him now. Alright. I wish I'd been there to see it all play out as you told it.
I wish you'd been there to join in. Oh, to battle together, just like the old days. I suppose that's my way of saying I miss you. Tonight, I toast not just the people we've become, but the people we were. Warriors, winners, saviors.
You know, you have done a lot of killing for a warlock without his powers.
I won't lie. Losing the eldritch blasts and the hexes took some getting used to. Nothing but void where once there was hellfire. So I stoked new fires in myself using the lessons my father once taught me. The Blade of Avernus is a ranger, a hunter of the most hellish prey.
Alright, good talk.
Go on, the night's young. You shouldn't waste a moment of it. Or waste a single drop of wine for that matter. I plan on downing half a bottle myself. Oops, did I say half a bottle? I meant half a dozen.
Alright. I guess let's check in with Karlach? Even though we came here with her.
It's good.
The Blade of Avernus. Karlach, reluctant Scourge of Avernus. Huh. Okay.
Oh, shit. Oh, my God. He wasn't kidding. Where's your mad bastard? You brought us back! Commander Zula won't know where the fuck we went! Ha! Oh, man, I can't wait to say hi to everyone. Look at them, the beauts. Rest up, soldier. My tin can will be all right for the night. And you and me will get to sleep with both eyes shut for the first time in 6 months? Then again, maybe we won't sleep at all.
I like the sound of that. Can I have a kiss? Leave. Sure, I like the sound of that.
Me too, my love. See you soon.
Can we smooch?
Come here, you goon.
Yeah, we've never seen a smooch in this way. Right? Where do you even smooch a mind flayer? I guess right there. Alright, good talk.
Oh, hey. Before you go, I've been thinking about those blueprints we found. Zariel's probably got a load of Cambions guarding that forge. I'm sure she knows I'll want in. She'll do anything to stop me from fixing this thing. I might have an in with one of the guards, though. You may remember my old friend Flo. Not sure she'll help us, but maybe. We might get to come home. Permanently. Maybe even sooner than we think.
Holy shit. That's wild. Okay. Man, yeah. Does everyone have a little hint of a setup for, like, future shit? It seems that way.
The whole gang is here. Wish I'd had time to polish up the horns.
Okay, let's go over here. Who is this person? Happy Horson? Who the fuck are you?
He's going to kill me, isn't he? Not the big mad bastard. The hamster.
What?
You see, Boo? I told you our friend was near.
I learned much under these very skies. Such pleasure to see them once more.
Minsk, friend of the guild, enemy of the guild. Fair enough.
Breathe deep.
Hey, there we go.
The smell of heroes sings from every stone in this place. To meet again where your journey began, my friend. An honor. For Minsk and his hamster both. Oh, and for Happy also.
Yes. Honored, of course.
Withers didn't say we could bring guests. It's good to see you, Minsk. Boo too, and Happy? Who is this then? Who is this?
See how your very presence snatches the breath from his chest? And it is no wonder. It is just this day that Happy learned of your legend, while we gazed down upon the very city you saved.
He dangled me from the high hall, upside down, for 2 hours.
The guild should not go creeping in high places if they do not have the stomach for them, It is well for Happy the strange portal appeared when it did. Minsk's arm was growing achsome.
You're still chasing after the guild? I thought you made your peace with them. I'm glad you came. It has been too long. What have you been up to? You're still chasing after the guild?
So I have. Though it is a peace made more from blade and boot than it is any sense of brotherhood. 9 fingers forbade any looting of the Illithid's fleshy vessels, and so Minsk guards what remains of the battle site, even from her. But where Minsk might once have thrown any sneaking scoundrels from the tower top, now I tell them of you. How you ruled the wickedness within. How they might do the same.
Yes, I'll rule it. I'll be better.
Okay.
Oh, of course. It is still for Boo to decide if they live or die.
Oh, gods.
But enough, my friend! I cannot tell your tale if I do not know the whole of it. Minsk and Boo would know where you have been, what you have done.
I've been in the hells with Karlach, fighting off devils and looking for a cure for her heart. First, do you think you can bear to give me a hug? I've found a new life since my transformation. One different than I expected, but not lesser. Just living my life. Now I've found someone to live it with. Happily putting all of this behind me. Finding more adventure where I can. Without any tadpoles this time, thankfully. Honestly, I've been missing all of you mostly. First, do you think you can bear to give me a hug?
Embrace me, my friend! And should you feel a squirming, know that it is only Boo. Or perhaps the buffet has gone bad.
Aww.
You are quite coated in hamster hair. Now, wherever you go, Boo goes too.
Well, I've been in the hells with Karlach, fighting off devils and looking for a cure for her heart.
Oh, Boo, do you know what it would mean? To find a cure for Karlach's heart? Exactly! Her heart would be cured! Oh, when this day comes, you must come and bunk with Minsk and Boo. Fear not, we sleep in that sewer no longer. It is a different sewer, much less damp beneath the bedroll. Now, Halfling, Boo will not have you embarrassing him in front of his friends, so you ought to know the rest of the company you keep. Will Ravengard, the Blade of Frontiers, Devil-Horned and Angel-Hearted. Lae'zel of Creshkiller, true child of Gith and true friend to Boo, though she will and say it is not so. Astarion, who is banished by the sun itself for fear his Spanish soul might outshine it.
Oh, that's very well put.
Down in the dark places, though he often moves his lair without remembering to tell Minsk where.
Oh.
Gale, the man who would be a god, but then thought better of it. Boo thinks better of him for it too. Shadowheart, 2 gods tugged at her soul, but she managed to keep it all for herself in the end. Wait, Boo, did she do something with her hair? Halsin, Archdruid of somewhere. He is a much better man than he smells. And there, the champion of the Hells herself, Karlach Demon's Bane, Devil's Bane, Merkul Bhaal and Bane. Once the guild is made of goodness once more, Bhaal shall scratch the Hells wide open and find a way to bring her back. And finally, Jahira. If this is a name you do not already know, then not even Boo can save you. Study them well, sneak thief, for the best among them will be a guide for your guild. Heroes who put the city before themselves, who never falter in their duty. And more than this, who never arrive to a party without even a gift for the host.
But wait!
Go, my friend. Be among our friends. There is much work yet to be done before this one is fit to join them.
All this stimulating conversation leaves you hungry. To speak is not enough. You wish to explore the brain of your friend with your beak. There are cruel rumors spread that Minsk may once have suffered injury to his brain.
What the fuck?
You could set the slander right at last. Tell the world every bite was perfect.
Wow, this is like a hint of things to come. This is like such a hint of things to come for the Dark Urge, huh? Constitution roll, resist the craving. Glance around. Is there anything else you could eat? Begin your harvest. God, let's try to resist it. Oh my gosh, okay. Thank God.
This is highly illogical. There are plenty of other craniums awaiting your suction. And this is a prize ally. And besides, this brain before you, its endorphins are in a joyous flow. It is a wonderful scent. The odor of friendship.
Stale loaf of bread just to get by.
That's really wild. That is so wild. Okay.
The whole gang is here.
How about the horse?
Wish I'd had time to
He's
find
going to kill me, isn't he? Not the big mad bastard. The hamster.
Vintage.
You're lucky, dude. Maybe I was about to kill
Why
you.
were we scrounging in barrels and crates for supplies when he could source these? God, I remember one evening when we had to eat 14 apples, some fish heads, and a stale loaf of bread just to get by.
Damn, look at Minsk fucking go, too. Let's talk to him again.
We shall conclude our business with the thief. But have no fear, my friend. Boo will save you a dance.
Aw. And let's talk with Karlach again. Oh, I don't even know where she went. Oh, over there. Maybe we can talk to the bear? The owlbear?
Happy? Gonna get pets? Gonna play? Gonna live with nice lady?
Aw. Alright. And how about Scratch again?
I have something to ask.
Oh, boy! Is it lovely to sniff you again?
Okay. I'm so glad to hear you fared well since our travels together.
I certainly have, and I always will. Forever, I think.
Oh, we heard that.
And so will you.
Alright, I will pet Scratch again. Actually, I don't think I did the first time, right? I didn't have the opportunity. Aww.
You always know just how to do it.
Okay. Volo was over here. Yeah, there you are. Lyle?
Ah, my dear friend, it's been an age, has it not? You're looking, well. Our skeletal friend will be very pleased to see I found my way here, despite my invitation getting lost in the post.
Have you come seeking a statement for your next tell-all? It's wonderful to see you, Volo. How have you been? You again. Getting yourself into more trouble, I presume?
Always, my friend. But the villain I must needs slay today is my greatest yet. A deadline. You won't be surprised to find I'm soon to publish a little holiday read about our adventures together. I've gotten quite good at replicating your signature, so you needn't even bother with the release form. You might help me with the title, though. I'm considering The Hero and Me. What do you think?
The Hero and I? No? Do you think your readers will believe a mind flayer could be a hero? I love it, presuming I'm the hero. You can do better, can't you? Do you think your readers will believe a mind flayer could be a hero?
Who says you're the titular hero, Oh, I jest, probably. But believe you me, I couldn't have written a word without you. Perhaps, once the manuscript is finished, you'd even be willing to write a foreword? Or better yet, I'll write a draft and you can just sign your name. Better still, I'll sign it for you. Your success really has been wonderful for my reputation. But you mustn't let me hog your attention all night, my friend. You've many friends to chat to, and I'd love to listen in.
Okay. Oh, let's talk to Karlach again here.
It's so good to be back, isn't it? Oh, it smells like home.
All right, and here's Jaheira.
Well, now, you can make yourself presentable when you have a mind to. Your higher form has brought with it some higher manners, then.
That makes one of us. I've learned a lot since we last met. What kind of greeting is that? I miss you too, Jaheira.
How nice to be understood again. I have spent the past months bickering with builders and bankers, all to restore the city exactly as it was. Same twisting alleys for purse pickers, same wooden buildings ready to get burnt by next year's dragon, same cisterns overflowing,
I heard rumors the Upper City was destroyed beyond reconstruction. You're not happy to see the city restored to its former glory? Baldurian. It's a kip, but it's our kip. I wouldn't change a thing. How do you think the rebuilding is going? What are the Harpers up to? I heard rumors the Upper City was destroyed beyond reconstruction.
The Upper City has been almost entirely rebuilt. That's where the gold is. Even the builder scaffolds are cleared from the streets. No dust left to sneeze at. Baldurians simply get on with it. Stubbornness, civic spirit, plain stupidity. Perhaps all three, but nothing I will sniff at any longer. Harpers have come from half the world over to lend aid. Farmers, masons, healers. My own son, Jord, has been wooed to their ranks. Already he plans crop cycles in Worm's Crossing. Not so for my daughter. Ryan's rejoined the Flaming Fist. Temporarily, you understand. To organize the craftsmen. Though she spends more time locking up comrades for pocketing aid funds. They might learn a thing or two if they don't expel her. Again.
Pocketing aid funds, okay. All well and good, but what about you? I want to hear about what you've been up to. You must be proud of them. What about Minsk? What about you? I want to hear what you've been up to.
Honestly? Mistake me not. There is still much to be done. Plans to make, maps to be frowned over. But my children are more than capable of doing it. Even the young ones tire of me peeking over their shoulders. This night offers them a brief respite from me, at least. And this place, now I look at it, it is where you all spent your first night together, no? A fine spot for an adventure to begin. A fine spot indeed.
Do you have an adventure in mind? That it is. You're not going back to the city, are you? Don't go getting any ideas wandering off. Your children need you. Do you have an adventure in mind?
Just a little wander, perhaps, to stretch the legs. I'll find my way back, as I always do. I admit defeat. Baldur's Gate is my home. But that is the thing about home. The only way to see it clearly is to leave and look back. For a little while, at least.
Oh my god!
For all your
How
travels,
sentimental.
I hope you have arrived where you want to be. Home. Whatever that means to you.
There's no end in sight to my travels for now. No matter how far away I may be, the gate will always be first in my heart. Where we are standing now, this campsite, is my home, even when I am far away. Karlach and I are each other's home in Wild Avernus. Let's bring up Avernus.
Karlach is lucky to have you. And know that you are not forgotten. If your friends don't drag you from the hells, it will only be because you freed yourself first. But there will be more to discuss on that matter. First, I must inspect the refreshments. You'll never know. Some ne'er-do-well might have tampered with the wine.
The roads were kind. I'd hate to have missed this.
Might have tampered with the wine.
Lucky thing I didn't decide to go to Arm yet. No way I would have made it back in time.
Anything else, Jahira?
I won't send too many letters back to the gate while I'm away. I will try to enjoy solace. But you look disbelieving.
Who's this? Malil? Forgotten Troubadour? What? Yeah, who are you? Okay. Did I talk to Will twice?
Cheers to you. Cheers to Withers. Cheers to all of us.
Scrounging
All
in
right.
barrels and crates for supplies when he could source these. Gods, I remember one evening when we had to eat 14 apples, some fish heads...
There's Lae'zel. There's Gale.
Nice little spot, isn't it?
Professor Decarios. Anonymous adventurer. Procurer of associate stories and curios.
Realize you were such a homebody, Tara.
Okay. Let's speak with... Who is the final person I'm to speak with? I guess go over here and speak with, I presume, Withers. Yeah. Okay. Astarion?
Gods, I remember one...
Well, look who decided to turn up. I wasn't sure our withered old friend could live up to his promise. But here we are. And look at you, straight from the hells, still reeking of brimstone. I take it you've been having fun.
Astarion, I could hug you. It's been tough, but at least I'm there with Karlach. Killing devils, causing chaos, I can't complain. Honestly, it hasn't been easy. Yeah, I like the idea that, it hasn't been easy, right? It's been tough, but at least I'm there with Karlach.
Yes, the right person can make just about anything bearable. And it seems like you found exactly the right person.
I'm shocked at the different ways that you can play that situation, right? There were like 3 responses like, yeah, I'm handling it just great. Honestly, I'm really regretting it. Or like, yeah, I'm making do. It's tough, but, you know, at least we're together. You're in a good mood? Have you been drinking? What about you? How's my favorite bloodsucker? The last time I saw you, you were running from the sun. What happened? I should probably go and talk to the others. What happened?
Exactly what I feared. Without the protection of our little friends, I was just an ordinary spawn again. Burning in the sun. I fled the dock and found refuge in the shadows until night fell. Part of me was relieved you left so quickly after the battle. I felt ashamed. Like I'd lost everything. Just as you claimed your victory. I didn't want you to see me like that.
Jesus, that's incredibly sad.
Lent perspective. It wasn't your victory, it was ours. And for all I'd lost, I'd gained so much more. I had freedom, strength, a whole new life. And it was time to live it. I've taken a turn as an adventurer and hero.
Really?
It turns out no one actually cares about murder, as long as you murder the right people. And apparently I'm rather good at it.
I could have told you that. Astarion, one of the good guys. Who would have thought? Sure, as long as there's something in it for you. Who would have thought?
Let's not get carried away, darling. I'm still me. Perhaps more me than I've ever been.
Do you ever miss walking in the sun? So what's next for you? Going to keep living the good life? You seem happy. Are you sure you haven't been drinking blood? Asking do you ever miss walking in the sun is a little, like, feels like a faux pas, a conversational faux pas to say. But it is a video game and I'm very curious as to what he'll say. So I'm going to go with it.
I did at first. But then I realized. These shadows, this darkness, it's all a part of me. I spent too long defined by what other people did to me, the choices other people made for me. But that's over now. This is who I am. In all my glory, for better and for worse.
I'm glad to hear it. Acceptance looks good on you. Good luck. More worse than better, I'd say. I'm glad to hear it. Acceptance looks good on you.
That being said, I haven't completely given up on returning to the sun. If the opportunity presented itself, well, I wouldn't say no. But until then, I am happy. We've had quite the journey, you and I. From the moment I first threatened you, I knew you were someone special. Someone to take on the world with. I will miss our time together. But then again, maybe this isn't goodbye. So much as it's, see you later, darling.
Aww. All right. That was a very poetic and good way to end that conversation, but I have to click on you a second time.
After everything, this feels nice. A chance to take a breath, metaphorically speaking.
Radiant Hopeful. Okay. God, I love the little titles for everybody. All right, let's go over here and speak with Halsin. Alderman of the Reclaimed Lands. Makes sense, I guess.
You would think someone of my vintage would be inured to the passage of time. Yet these past 6 months have seemed endless without your company. But now, our paths cross once more.
Let me guess, just as nature intended, the feeling's mutual. I've missed you. Honestly, the time has flown by. You sound almost sentimental, considering we didn't really get along. We did get along. What are we talking about? Maybe my, because I took so long to rescue him, maybe my rapport with him went down, right? Maybe approval dropped a little bit every time we camped without him. Oh. The feeling's mutual. I've missed you.
We have all pined for each other's company, I sense. I cannot imagine otherwise after what we shared. That bond was forged in a crucible that can never be stoked again, Oak Father willing. It is a bond that can weather any distance, any passage of time. I know it can, for I feel the longing for old friends in my heart each day.
Oh my god. You sound like you need a hug. You sound like you need a drink. That's life, I'm afraid. We can't go back. The future's ours to write. Who knows what we might yet share together. Yeah, I guess Halsin, true enough, we didn't get to explore it very much because he's not part of the, like, core group of companions, so he didn't get quite nearly as much, exposition. But he definitely did suffer from, like, feelings of regret and sort of, like, looking back on the past in that way. You know? He did have, that was, like, a common theme throughout his character. Right? I struggle to say character arc. Because once again, not being a group of the core part of the core 6, right? You can definitely tell he's lacking a little bit. And also, fair enough to say, maybe I missed out on some of it by virtue of him not being at camp for, due to his absence thanks to the kidnapping. You sound like you need a hug.
I always do. Should I ever decline, assume a doppelganger has taken my place.
Oh my god. Is that a unique line? Hold up. Was that unique reactivity? Can everyone say something like that?
That was more than worth the wait.
You can say that again. I'm sure there'll be more of that, more where that came from. Oof, that's quite a squeeze you put on me, Halsin. I'm sure there'll be more where that came from.
Rest assured, my arms shall be ready. Now, we have much to catch up on. Do not allow me to ramble on. I am eager to hear all you've been doing.
You first, Halsin. I want to hear about the life you've made, the people you've helped. I could listen to you talk all day, but if you insist. Finally, yes, let's talk about me. I don't want to talk about it. Stay eager a little longer. I'll come back to you later. You first, Halsin.
In that case, very well. Our community grows rapidly. In 6 months, we have turned what was once a shadowy wasteland into a true home for all. In another 6 months, I would wager the scars of the past will be entirely invisible, even to those who remember them. The old masonry of Moonrise Towers and Rythwin have been repurposed into new homes, and the land is rich with harvests and bountiful trees. Nature and civilization are in harmony, stronger together.
Yeah, that sounds wonderful. Is this the balance you wished for? There must be a downside. I recall you have quite a few young wards to care for. 9 wagons of them, wasn't it? I don't remember this. 9 wagons of wards? I don't remember that at all. Is this the balance you wished for?
In a manner of speaking, yes. Though it is a more complex, evolving beast than I could ever have anticipated. True balance is no simple, fixed thing. I see that now. We welcome folk from all walks of life. Anyone who wishes for a new start. Naturally, it can be chaotic at times, but it is a thrilling sort of chaos. It thrives in ways I could never have dreamed of.
I'll need to see this place for myself. I'm glad you're happy. My turn, I suppose? I'll need to see this place for myself.
You are welcome whenever you like, and for however long you please. Now, please, tell me all, and spare no details. I shall not lie. I have an ulterior motive in wishing to hear all. It is the children, you see. My charges. Their appetite for bedtime tales is greater than I could ever have anticipated. Another story, Daddy Halsin. Another is the chorus that greets me each nightfall. They have all but exhausted my repertoire in but a few short months. No mean feat given the lifetime I have lived. I desperately need new material, please. My reputation is at stake.
Had I known bedtime tales were a possibility, I'd have sought you out at camp. I expect you'll have a few tales that will need to wait until they are older. Alright, let me see what I have. Leave. Alright, let me see what I have.
I am all ears. Though I never cared for that phrase. A rather unsettling image.
What are you, fucking Lae'zel? Regale Halsin with tales of your past 6 months. Deception. The truth may be a little flat. Spice it up a little. Avernus has proven lively, but at least I have Karlach at my side. Her laugh parts the clouds. My exploits have been limited by my new form. I live as a pariah, feared by most. Recount some of your recent exploits, sparing no detail. Recount fighting alongside Karlach against the devils and demons. Avernus has proven lively, but at least I have Karlach by my side. Her laugh parts the clouds.
I am glad you
I was
and
tempted to lie.
Karlach have an enduring friendship. It shall serve as a strong lesson for the children, as well as a stirring tale. Now, it would be cruel of me to hoard you all to myself for the evening, as much as I would like to. I shall leave you to the others for now, unless there was anything else.
Tell me about Thaniel and Oliver. Do you see much of them? Still partial to roaming in bear form, I take it? You seem more settled than I expected of you. I thought that was against your nature. What of the Grove? Do you stay in touch? May I have a hug? Turn to leave. You already had a hug. Tell me about Thaniel and Oliver. Do you see much of them?
Quite often. They come and go as they please, but with so many playmates to avail of, they are far from strangers. They ask after you often. What you did for them will never be forgotten. I can see it in the land all around me. But more importantly, I see it in their faces whenever they visit. To make a child smile is to dabble with the power of gods, as far as I'm concerned.
Aw. Are you still partial to roaming in bear form, I take it?
I spend half my days in ursine form. The children demand it. I had a score of them taking turns riding upon my back just days ago. I'm glad they are so comfortable with the Oakfather's creations. But they must learn that not all are as amiable as I am. A lesson for another time, though. They deserve some joy. As for roaming, that impulse has dwindled, I must admit. Perhaps because I have found where I am meant to be.
Aw. You do seem more settled than I expected of you.
As did I, but somehow I feel like I no longer need to roam. That I have found something worthy laying roots for. Amazing what can be discovered about oneself, even at a ripe old age.
And what of the Grove? Do you stay in touch?
On occasion, but I prefer not to interfere. Francesca of the High Forest is Archdruid now, and by all accounts, she has proven to be a steady and wise influence. Even Korga may yet find true balance, thanks to her influence.
Alright, turn to leave. We already had a hug, right? Yeah. Didn't we? Yeah. Alright, turn to leave.
Before you go, I have something for you. Just a little keepsake, really.
Oh.
Do you remember how I told you I like to whittle? I made this. Ducks are my favorite, but
I remember that.
I thought they were particularly fitting in this case. They are migratory birds, of course, traveling far and wide with the turn of the seasons. Yet, they always find their way back to where they belong.
Oh my god.
Just like old friends find themselves back in each other's
Dude, you're gonna make me fucking cry. Holy shit. Oh my god. It's lovely. Thank you. Does it do anything? Does it do anything? You're a sentimental creature at heart, you know that? This may fetch a modest price from a merchant with poor taste. You're a sentimental creature at heart, you know what? You know that?
Oh, I am well aware, trust me. Now, I've taken up enough of your time. Go on, enjoy the festivities.
Oh my god, that's amazing. A duck whittled out of wood. It smells of the deep forest. I wonder if he always says that no matter like how you picked it, right? Or if that was reactivity to the Avernus stuff. Right? Because, damn, it really fucking fit. We better talk to him one more time.
It truly is splendid to see everyone gathered together again, if only for a night. I hope the sun does not make haste to rise on us.
Alright. Good talk, Halson. Clothing chest. Oh my gosh.
Oh, pardon me.
Wow. Whole lot of dye and everything. I guess it's all the clothes that you could possibly get and all the dye you could possibly get. Huh.
Good song, good company, and good...
I feel like after you beat the game, you should get that available to you, right? just from the get-go. Okay. Oh, Gale's pet? Tressum?
Oh, right. You. Hello.
Gale's friend Tara, right? Or Tara? It's good to see you again. A greeting from Tara. What have I done to deserve the honor? Gale's friend Tara, right?
Yes, I'm certain it is. As for you, well, I've heard congratulations are in order. You helped Mr. Dacarios save Baldur's Gate from the Absolute, isn't that right? And you made significant sacrifices to your well-being by the looks of things.
I sacrificed, yes, but I'm happy too. Actually, Gale helped me. I was glad to. Anything to help Gale save Faerun. You just reminded me why I've always disliked cats. I sacrificed, yes, but I'm happy too.
Yes, I'm sure you are. You ought to come visit myself and Gale when you're able. If you can extract yourself from whatever responsibilities mind flayers might have.
I'd quite like that. Thanks for the invitation. No respect for the co-savior of Faerun, huh? No thanks. My responsibilities keep me quite busy. Yeah, I'll accept the invitation on account of what sounds like recent developments with Karlach. Alright, thanks for the invitation.
We'll send word by pigeon when we've need of you. I used to have a taste for them, but a great many things have changed in recent months.
Yeah, send me a pigeon.
Darling.
Yeah, y'all can send one to me. Anything else?
Do let me know if you spot a cozy corner near the fire for me, won't you?
Is Tara voiced by the person who voices Auntie Ethel? I can kind of hear it at times. Alright, Gale?
Well, well. Look what the Tressim dragged in. Professor Gale Dacarios of Blackstaff Academy. Educator of the esteemed School of Illusion. A pleasure to remake your acquaintance.
I see Mistra didn't smite you in the end. Hug him. You're a teacher? You, a teacher? I'd hardly say you set the best example for impressionable young wizards. Only a professor? With your expertise, I'd have thought you could teach every kind of magic going. Let's hug him. We gotta hug everybody, right?
Well, that was quite lovely. I'm glad you're as pleased to see me as I am you. I have to say, I'm quite grateful to just be Gale for the evening. I fear my students find me somewhat intimidating due to my, explosive former reputation. I seem to put the fear of the gods into them. Or the fear of Mistra, to be more specific. I surrendered the crown of Karsus to her, as I told you I would. And in return, she cured me of the orb at last. Even now, I struggle to put the feelings into words. It was like exhaling for the first time after holding my breath for so very long. Of course, I haven't clarified with my students that the orb is no longer a threat. The legend of my explosive capabilities is an excellent means of controlling a classroom. Too good, if anything. I spend most of my time trying to convince them how much fun the study of magic can be. But it'd be easier to crack a smile on an intellect devourer than some of my pupils.
Or a mind flayer, perhaps. Don't worry, I can say from experience you are an excellent teacher. Go on then, convince me. Why is illusory magic so much fun? It is a pity to imagine you chained to a desk. You wouldn't rather be out adventuring? You used to take yourself rather seriously, you know. Or on a mind flayer, perhaps.
Smiling may no longer come easy to you, but I've seen how your tentacles twitch at my jokes. Even the ones I'm not entirely certain I was trying to make. Still, I hoped my students might be a little more open to the playful side of such magic. Oh, they try their best, of course, when they can manage to stay awake.
The cheek of them! Nothing a well-placed swipe from Tara can't fix, though.
And what of you? What are you making of this newfound lease of life we earned?
I confess, I found life a little too quiet since our journey came to an end. I found someone who loves me, even in this form. Happiness isn't the best word for what I feel. I've grown accustomed to my new form. It offers certain possibilities, so long as I can master it. Avernus is interesting. We've been making a mess down there, that's for sure. Oh, we have to go with the Avernus reactivity.
I almost feel sorry for the devils in your path. I mean, I don't, of course. Sure, they deserve it. I've told my students plenty of tales about our escapades. You're something of a hero to them, you know? I'll be delighted to introduce you to my current cohort as a guest lecturer, perhaps. I'm sure they'd have plenty of questions for you.
Of course. I'm sure they'll have many questions about the nature of my psionic powers. You're certain your students will listen to me? Few are willing to grant a mind flayer an audience. I think not. Given my form, such exposure would make my life complicated. Yeah, I like the idea that we do regret it in some form, right? I think not.
I totally understand. Perhaps our exploits might be a little on the mature side for my students, come to think of it. Still, at the very least, you must come visit me. I have a pantry full of Waterdavian delicacies and a delightful bottle of Elverquist with your name on them.
I like the idea as well that he's wearing such a deep V-neck cut to show off where that, like, I don't know, the sort of tattoo from the orb is missing now. My diet is more cerebral these days, Gale. I need to rethink your menu. If you've room for both of us, then I'd be happy, and can cater to an illithid diet. A kind offer, but one I cannot accept. It is simply too dangerous. If you've room for both of us, then I'd be happy to.
Say no more. There's a wizard in Blackstaff's anatomical department who owes me a favor. No questions asked. All diets will be catered for. I can hardly wait. It will give us plenty of time to catch up on your adventures. I'm very curious to know what you've been up to these past months. But I suspect the telling of that tale would keep you tied to me all evening. So, in the spirit of selflessness, I encourage you to mix and mingle for now, with time enough to come.
Oh, I've seen every corner of the realms. I just know what I like.
And that's my mother's sitting room.
And the dining table, and the hearth, and above all, your lap.
Good song, good company.
Let's talk to Gale a second time.
I can't believe this is real. Never thought we'd gather like this again. It's quite... yes, it's really quite lovely.
Oh my god!
Have your associates always been so ugly?
Alright, have we spoken with everyone? Except for the troubadour?
What's cooking?
I think we have, right? Yeah, can I talk to the troubadour? Malil, forgotten troubadour?
Minsk has not yet left the table, so this is still...
Withers has a keen eye for a knife.
Oh, hello. Let me guess, you've got some suggestions about the music choice.
The music's fine. Uninvited guests are not. Who are you? Bard. Tough gig? Actually, I would like to hear a different song. No, please carry on playing. Bard. Tough gig?
You have no idea. You were a bard, were you? Back before you became so... tentacular. Withers couldn't even find a bard who knows who I am.
How do you know Withers? Go on then, what's her name? Deception. I know exactly who you are. It's such an honor. What a shame. I'd like to hear a different song, please. You know what? I'll just leave you to play. How do you know Withers?
I owe him a favor. One he is eternally invoking. I thought honoring the
like
word
some
he
sort
was
of...
a fair price to pay for Withers to pull me out of the fugue plane. Alas, one purgatory to another.
Dude, we should have been able to get this dude's armor as, like, bard armor or whatever. It looks spectacular. What were you doing in the fugue plane? I think you're being a bit dramatic. At least you didn't turn into a mind flayer. What were you doing in the fugue plane?
Languishing in obscurity. Cyric knew what he was doing when he punished me for that song, the prick. Before I was banished to the fugue plane, I had song prayers coming out the proverbial ears. Guess how many I get now? None.
You feel a pang of divine guilt. Musical prayers went out of fashion among bards when Melil, Lord of Song, offended the god Cyric and was ejected from the pantheon.
Huh.
I'm washed up, I'm afraid.
Oh my gosh, is this person voiced by Matthew Mercer too? Just like Minsk? I think so. Yeah. The voice here sounds not 100%, but sounds very similar to his Aloth from Pillars of Eternity 1 and 2. Even mind flayers appreciate a good tune. It's an honor to meet the Lord of Song.
You know. You're bloody right. It is an honor. Deep down, I knew you'd recognize me. You're a fellow bard, after all.
No, I don't know.
What can I do you for?
Maybe this isn't, yeah. Maybe, I don't know who this is now. Sometimes it sounds like him. I'd like you to change the song.
Your wish is my... etc. What song do you want?
Can you play a pretty song reminiscent of taverns and tales? Something that encourages dancing would be perfect. How about something thoughtful, hopeful? I'd like something that feels rich and warm. You have any new compositions? Something that's never been heard before? Actually, what you were playing was perfect. Something rich and warm.
Fantastic idea. It'll suit the whole affair perfectly.
Oh, you can alter between all the old camp music, I guess.
Nice to return to familiar environs.
Chest of Grateful Words. Oh my god, look at all this. Holy shit! Okay. Baldur's Mouth Gazette. Witnesses encounter vampire spawn and live to tell the tale. Edition 233, price 2. Edvard Needle, editor-in-chief. I wonder if they would replace Edvard if we had killed him. 6 months since the assassination of Archduke Gortash. Small son. Tour new district built by Elturian refugees. New Bardic School, Tiefling founder, secures upper city funding. Ah, I wonder if that's who we know. Janeth House remains closed, off to Callers, Lady and Recluse. Monument planned for heroes of the High Hall. Yeah, I wonder what happened to my statue. Another gazette. Oh, cool. Volothamp Gedarm's Guide to Baldur's Gate. Bard seeks contributors to newest edition. Last holdout cultist cleared from Temple of Bhaal. Iron Throne wreckage continues to block shipping lanes. Complain merchants. Settlers bound for lands upriver amid claims. Curse is lifted. Business boom. Take your troubles to the House of Grief. Umberly priesthood tight-lipped over killings. Ravengard returned to full strength. The Wizard of Waterdeep. Exclusive interview with Savior of the City. Iron Hands and Gondians rebuild. City's new era of ingenuity. Gondians no more. Wolbrin Bongle's Iron Hand gnomes take center stage. Serial killer unmasked as crazed ballist. Planar Pains. City caught in center of Githyanki War. Oh, there we go. Fresh stock. An interview with the new master of Ramesses Tower. Thorm's army dispersed from Baldurian borders. Report. Stone Lord killed by beloved ranger. Almond cakes of Avernus. Elturian refugees and owners of city's newest cafe share their recipe. Harper's out of hiding. Secretive sect step forward to aid city. Site of Foundry Blast still sectioned off, says Fist. Okay, let's read these. Official guild letter. A plain, unadorned note. To the hero of the realms, we have found your adventure closely, or followed your adventure closely. From the day you fell from that doomed nautiloid to the final blow you struck the nether brain as it loomed over the Sword Coast. We are but a humble guild, who pride ourselves in telling stories, not unlike the tales to be written of you for many years to come. How inspired we have been to witness your feats, awesome and terrible, the lives you saved and sundered, the friendships you found. Thus, we thought to extend a greeting, to thank you for adventuring with such creative determination, such panache, enough to touch the hearts of each of our number. With deepest gratitude, the Guild of Great Genius? Who? Oh, letter from Barkus. To whom it may concern, Withers gave me this address and said I could consider writing, thus an update. The Ironhand gnomes are nearly beyond help, but I've managed to yoke them into something resembling a coherent force for innovation. We've been hired to assist in the city's reconstruction, and our steam-powered object motorations are helping to move building supplies in every part of the city. It's nothing, really. I am well. I trust you are too. We deserve it, after all, don't we? Barkus Root. Letter from Art. Oh, Kool-Aid? God, I nearly forgot of him. To an old acquaintance. I write to you from the sunny porch of the Last Light Inn. A light breeze blows now and then. People are milling in and out. Builders, visitors, the children of all ages in Halsin's care. I can no longer hold a quill, or eat without assistance. A kind friend is transcribing this for me. Daniel, rejoined with Oliver, has promised to be with me when the end comes. And, as our old songs drift on the wind ever louder, I know I have mere days left. But I do not fear it. If not for your help, this land would still be shrouded in darkness, and I'd still be lost within it. Know that my heart is full and happy, and I am grateful for my last moments. Do visit someday, and if you have time to stop by an old Flaming Fist's grave, I know I'd love to see you. Art Kool-Aid. Letter from Ravengard. Hero of Baldur's Gate, vanquisher of the Absolute, the city is forever in your debt. For without your valor, your audacity, your sacrifice, it would not know renewal. It is not temples and inns and homes that I speak of, but hearts. Baldur's Gate can never be the city it was before it suffered the Absolute's touch, and that is as it should be. The survivors have borne witness to their homes' near destruction. They've come to regret turning a blind eye to the cruelty Gortash disguised as safety and security. And they understand, just as I have come to understand, that trust, compassion, and unity are the foundation of Baldur's Gate. Our gates are open once more to the disowned and displaced. The Flaming Fist will learn to be true servants of the people, and I will devote myself to ridding the gate of the shameful fears that allowed evil to enter our homes and sit at our tables. Yours, Older Ravengard. Or Ravengard. Letter from Voss. Githyanki script, Tersu, adorns one side of the page. The other is written in the common tongue. Shelak. The Prince of the Comet shines ever bright. Breath by breath, battle by battle, Vlakis death draws nearer. We have taken to the astral plane, slaughter all who must be slaughtered, and spread the air's truth to every possible ear, willing and unwilling. Many Githyanki have already taken up arms with us as warriors of the comet. Others have remained in their enclaves or traveled to creches, dedicating themselves to Orpheus' scribes, spies, and slate scholars. But our allies do not all call themselves children of Gith. Zareth Menyar Agith, the Githzerai's god king, has requested an audience. There was a time I would have thought such a coalition unspeakable, but Orpheus has spoken. If Lakith is to fall, mayhaps the two skies must again be made one. Voss, Revercal to Orpheus, Knight of the Comet. A letter from Arabella. Hey, you. It's Arabella. You remember me, right? Bone Man once said I needed to find balance. Where creation meets ruin, where morning meets midnight, the root of all being. Fancy talk. He was right, though. After I touched that idol in the grove, it was like a big tree started to grow in my head. And all these weird thoughts and feelings and powers sprouted on its branches like big black leaves. I had to figure myself out. So I followed the weave, like Bone Man said. I don't know how I knew what to do. I just did. After you squished the brain, Beard Man showed up. Elminster, maybe? Said the weave led him to me, and me to him. He's teaching me how to make sense of all those leaves on my head tree. He says I need to use magic responsibly. He also says not to call him Beard Man. I'll let you know how it goes. I wonder how that would go if you'd never met Elminster. Right? Is there a way in which you could have never met Elminster? I guess if you never met Gale. Nah, because Elminster still might show up. Letter from Edvard. Whoops. There we go. A small extract from a self-published polemic tabloid. A note is attached at the top. I will not be silenced. E. Needling with Edvard. Friends, Baldarians, my people, consider our loss. Our lauded and benevolent patriarchs, maimed. Our great upper city libraries, demolished. The very beating heart of our great city, the right to speak freely, dead upon the cobbles. Do you not see, my friends? Lord Gortash, formerly our greatest bulwark against the Absolute, is now smeared as a collaborator. His allies and colleagues tossed aside, former publications of repute turning to censorious farces. I ask you, the pamphlet continues in much the same fashion. Good lord. Letter from Araj. Who is Araj? Yeah, who the hell was Araj? My friend. No, my darling. Greetings from Menzo Baranson, where the blood you so kindly traded me is ready to play its part in resurrecting the glorious House Oblodra. Oh, okay. From the moment I saw you, I knew you had power, and I knew that I could harness it. I knew that it would be mine. Soon I will descend into the abyss my people call the Claw Rift, searching for my lost house in its depths. Will it be dangerous? Oh yes, most dangerous. But don't fear, darling. Your strength will see me through. I will find the ruins of my house, and when I emerge again, it will be as the matron mother of a house reborn. All thanks to you. All thanks to the power in your blood. Until we meet again, my darling, Araja Blodra, master of the sanguine arts. From Sebastian. Who is Sebastian? Oh. After so long in a vampire's cell, I'd almost forgotten how to write. Never mind what to write. But what can you say to the person who unlocked your cage and gave you your life back? Or gave us some kind of life, at least. After you killed Cazador and opened our cells, we fled into the Underdark. There were thousands of us, a ravenous wave mad with freedom and out for blood. What gods did we find blood? We swarmed every monster and unfortunate in our path, drinking what we could. We lost hundreds along the way, some to beasts, but most just disappeared into the dark. It wasn't easy, but eventually Cazador's house spawn calmed us and took control. They found some old ruins we could call home, and we've been there ever since, building new lives for ourselves. We're not free down here. The dark will chain us forever. But we aren't the prisoners we once were either. And that's thanks to you. You looked in our cages and saw people, not monsters. And here, down in the shadows, we're trying to live up to that. Thank you now and forever, Sebastian. Letter from Floric. Sorry, I need to take a drink of water. These are a lot. Alright, sorry. Dear friend, I doubted you for so long. Perhaps you knew that already. In spite of my best attempts, you proved yourself time and again. At Joaquin's Rest, in Moonrise Towers, and Worm's Rock, and still I doubted. The Netherbrain's defeat should have proven your courage, yet I was more doubtful than ever. This was a ruse, a dream, a trick. And then one eve, from the elf song, I heard it. Singing. A raucous, lewd, tuneless, drunken refrain. I never heard anything more terrible and more beautiful. I raised my voice and joined the chorus. That was the moment. All my doubts melted away and were replaced with something more valuable. Hope. Baldur's Gate will be whole again. I might have doubted you, but you never did. With profound admiration, Floric. Letter from the Gur. To the Spawn Astarian. Oh. Greetings from the family of Ulma, hunters of monsters and keepers of peace across Faerun. We know this letter finds you well. For although we hunt you no longer. For although we hunt you no longer, we do sometimes keep a watch. Your restraint and control over your bloodlust has been admirable. Indeed, it has been an inspiration for our children, who've struggled with their own hunger. These last months have been a difficult time for our people. We've protected and nurtured our children as best we can. We've learned much. Herbs we once used to dull our foes' minds are now sedatives to ease hunger and pain. Restraints built to hold the undead now protect them from themselves. There's been a lot of pain, but a lot of progress too. Our children learned discipline and control, while we learned compassion and patience. There was a time when we would have destroyed any undead creature, our own blood or not, and called it a mercy. But then we met you. We saw that redemption was possible. Difficult, yes, painful, but possible. You saved our children, first from Cazador and then from us. For that, we thank you. We will watch you still, but with more admiration than fear. Walk in peace, Astarian. Letter from Alfira. Hello, friend. I'm sorry it's been so long, but I have the most amazing news. You know how Lucreza was working insane hours at the Elfsong Tavern? Well, she woke me up one morning, all excited, and told me she had a surprise for me. She took me to a house in the lower city that had a plaque hanging up outside it. A plaque with your and Lahala's names on it, and School of Music beneath. I just burst into tears. I couldn't believe it. It's the cutest house you've ever seen, with a big open space downstairs and a small loft where we can sleep. Word spread, and before I knew it, I had a room packed with trainee bards from Candlekeep to Waterdeep. Lucreza had to quit the Elfsong to help out. I'm teaching night and day and fall into bed utterly exhausted every night. And I've never been happier. Do come and visit sometime. We'd love to have you. Lots of love, Alfira. I wonder if her starting that was reactivity to anything that I did. Huh. Letter from Damon. Hey there. Would you mind passing this on to Karlak? Thanks a mil. Karlak, if you're reading this, you're alive. One way or another, you found a way. Thank the gods. I think of you often, wondering, what's become of you? Write to me, won't you? Please. Yours faithfully, Damon. Letter from Elminster. Gale, my boy, I can only apologize for my absence from Withers' little gathering. As you know, only the most urgent of business would keep me from indulging myself in his excellent taste in sweetmeats. And your esteemed company, of course. I was delighted to hear that you came to your senses with regards to that cursed crown, and delighted yet further when I learned that the orb's malingering presence no longer poses any threat. In that sense, at least, I hope you feel Mystra treated you fairly. I hear you've been dabbling in a spot of educating. A noble profession indeed. And no doubt, after your adventures you've plenty of wisdom to share. If I might offer a modicum of my own. Keep your head sharp, your heart kind, and your larder stocked. After all, one never knows when an old friend might drop by. Elminster. Letter from Nocturne. Oh. I feel like we should give these to the appropriate people. Dear Shadowheart, I hope that you are happy and well. I must keep this short, as I remain surrounded by Shar's followers at almost every waking moment in my new enclave. I dearly wish for you to enjoy your nights spent with old friends, and I hope that you and I shall share such a reunion. I know it must seem strange for me to dwell on such heretical thoughts, yet I cannot help myself. Perhaps one day I shall find some measure of the bravery that you did, and walk away from this life. Until then, I shall keep safe and hold memories of you as my one ember of light amid an ocean of darkness. Until we find each other once again, yours always, Nocturne. Letter from Valeria. Good lord. Salutations. I'm writing to request your help in a mysterious case that has arisen since our little Bhaalian bash a half-year ago. Regrettably, I've had to take the credit for dispelling the Bhaal cult, in your absence, you understand, and I'm working on routing the remaining Bhaalists from our fair city. This has made me a target. A false document bringing my name into ill repute has been made public, an alleged unpaid bar tab at the Elfsong. If you happen to be passing through with a bindle of coin, perhaps you can persuade management of my obvious innocence. Much obliged. Investigator Valeria, Sleuth of Helm. P.S. I wrangled Devella a posthumous promotion to Blaze Fountainhead. She deserved that at least. Letter from Mayrina. Holy hell. Thought I'd reach out first for once. I finally had my baby. A beautiful boy. I can't believe I ever thought of giving him up. He screams his head off half the night and I've barely slept. But I'm the happiest I've ever been. Other than my wedding day, of course. I decided to name him Connor, after his dad. With Ethel gone, myself and some other hag survivors have started our own publishing house. We've only printed a few pamphlets so far, but I'm halfway through my first book. Me, an author. It's like something out of a dream. Mind you, it's all about how to kill hags, but you know what they say. Write what you know. With every pamphlet we publish, more people show up to our support groups. As happy as that makes me, it breaks my heart to see how much harm Ethel did. But so long as I live, another hag won't set foot in Baldur's Gate. You have my word. Anyway, the reason I'm writing isn't just to talk your ear off. It's to say thank you for saving a scared young girl who thought she'd be a terrible mother. I couldn't have been more wrong. Next time we meet, pints are on me. Mayrina. No update on her husband, though. I wonder if she still keeps him around. Letter from Nine Fingers. I'm not much for leaving my city, but it does gladden a girl's heart to be asked to the ball, so I'll thank you for that much. In my place, except a few casks of a fine vintage that managed to roll their way down from the upper city and all that commotion. The rebuilding has given rise to many such happy opportunities, worth discussing over a more civilized drink in my guild hall, if you find yourself at a loose end. Enjoy the muck, and see if you can get the High Harper to sing. You won't be disappointed. NF. Letter from Zevlor. I hope my penmanship has improved somewhat in the past months. When I first stumbled into the city, I shook so badly that I could scarcely hold the soup the priest pressed into my hands, let alone write and thank you as you deserve. It is only when the city itself began to shake that I felt my hands grow still. Along with the other veterans sheltering at the temple, discards of Elturel's unworthy legions, I watched that monstrosity rise over the city. We felt no fear, only anger, disgust, purpose, and with it, power. I do not know what oath we cling to now, or how long it will last, but we shall use it to ensure that this city will not suffer as Elturel did, whether it wants us or not. It is more than thanks alone I owe. No words can make amends for what I did to my people, but that is as it should be. More come to the temple every day to aid in the relief efforts, and if I am permitted to work alongside them, then I am content. Come and see us when you can. Zevlor. The first protocol? To the Mlagir who freed me, to Lae'zel, to Lak Magir, my words come to you on slate, for they are immutable and eternal. You are not just liberators. You are all warriors of the comet. Whatever land you travel, whatever sea you cross, whatever plane you grace, blackest pawns fall one by one at the hands of my faithful. But the city of death stands, and the queen sits on her vile throne as its center. But we stand at a precipice. Lae'zel, thanks to you, we are soon to restore an old kinship, and Vlaakith will burn in the fires thus stoked. The protocols are written anew, and to you, Mlagir, I dedicate the first. All who call themselves Gith shall unite under one sky. Gith-Ka, Tavkim, Krasht, Orpheus. Letter from Francesca? Who's this? Oh my god. Yeah, the new druid overseeing Emerald Grove, who we've never met. Oakfather's blessings to you, unmet friend. You may not know me, but I know a great deal of you, thanks to our mutual acquaintance, Halsin. I am Francesca of the High Forest, and I wish to thank you for all you've done in nature's service. Not only did you rescue a swath of the Oakfather's realm from the shadows, but you likewise helped turn the Emerald Grove from a dark path also. And perhaps most suspiciously of all, you unburdened my dear friend of something that had tormented him for a lifetime. Now I serve as Archdruid in his stead, while he thrives with new purpose. I shall honor all that you did for us by returning the Grove and its followers to their core principles of balance and harmony. Rest assured, those who were once tempted by darker influences shall return to the Oak Father's true word. You have my eternal thanks and admiration. Your faithful servant, Francesca of the High Forest, Archdruid of the Emerald Grove. Postscript. I passed on Halsin's message to his dear friend, Orm, who is most eager to come join him at his new commune. I would not have believed a bear of his size could jump with excitement, had I not witnessed it with my own eyes. I expect Orm will have arrived there by the time Halsin returns from your festivities. A most pleasant surprise for him, I will wager. I'm guessing that's the bear who we had met and talked to that was speaking with Volo.
All's well that ends. Not as bad as it could have.
Wow, what a lore dump. Okay. Have we seen and spoken with everybody except for... Withers, who I assume will be way there in the back? I think so. Gonna quick save just in case. One last time, just for good measure. Check over here. Okay. Yeah, I think we're good. Man, that's incredible, though. All those notes. Oh, this rabbit is called Dew. And I bet, because they're all in text, I bet you could get, like, a whole, like, grab bag of different ones. Depending on how you play the game. And maybe different ones with a different tone from different people. Oh, is this where you are? Oh, no. Here you are. Row of books. Case file number 846. A rough copy of a court recording, written in faded ink. Baldur's Gate versus Flynn Silver. Case for prosecution. Master Silver did, with forethought and without malice, kill William Lister and Simon Simi Trent at their home as part of an ungodly ritual to honor the dead three, or one of the dead three, the gods Bane, Bhaal, or Merkel. Case for the defense. I don't know nothing, sick, about any gods. All I know is Bill and Simi were trying to cut me out of our deal, and they got what they had coming. But those symbols and stuff? How their guts was arranged? I don't know nothing. Verdict, guilty. Sentence, death. Commuted to banishment, so as not to anger higher powers. Huh. Volo's Guide to Baldur's Gate, signed. Okay. For my adventuresome muse, our fates are bound, my wisdom vast, I dearly hope our kinship lasts. Deepest affections, Volothamp Gedarm, poet, artist, savant, etc. Okay. A poorly drawn map of a city is captioned in flamboyant script. What follows is the most thorough and accurate account of the city and people of Baldur's Gate, the sordid gem of the Sword Coast. An editor's note in crimson ink follows. V. This volume is startlingly accurate, save for the nonsense about the Black Dragon Gate. It is not alive, no matter how many vagrant hags claim otherwise. Commission someone else to draw the map. E. Edvard, right? Scroll. A missive in Withers' hand, addressed to some unknown entity. Though you understand the alphabet, the script and the words themselves, the meaning eludes you. You glean only the impression of dark sun and white sky, and an offer. Or perhaps, a warning. Huh. Dark sun and white sky? Okay. Row of books back there. Nothing inside. I wonder if that's alluding to future stuff too. Dark sun and white sky? The Book of Willing Souls. A neat list of Baldarians and the deaths that befell them, beneath an annotation from Withers. Souls snuffed out in the battle for Baldur's Gate. Perhaps some might deign to return, should their city ever have need again. Savrin Ortholo, crushed by a falling roof as he held the door for others to flee. Nance D. charged a mind flayer that entered her granddaughter's room, died with her second-best scissors in its eye. Barely Quickflint brought a nautiloid down over the bay. Huh. Okay. Recipe of Elixir of Arcane Cultivation. Huh. Have I read this one? Though the book is mildewed and covered with what seem to be imprints of animal guts, one recipe in particular is still legible. There is joy in helping others that I never knew. While I myself have never had any talent for manipulating the weave directly, I cannot get the look of wonder on Nykros's face out of my head. That look he had when he imbued this potion. It fills my body with a soothing electricity I had thought impossible. Recipe for 1 elixir of arcane cultivation. Extracts needed: vitriol of weave moss, sublimate of belladonna. Method: in small doses, add the sublimate to the weave moss vitriol, being careful to mix thoroughly until both extracts are seamlessly combined. Shutter on a low fire or leave in the sun until the arcane energy becomes tangible. The last paragraph has been encircled thrice, once in blood. As always, when in doubt with alchemy, just recall the rule of 3. Thrice the same ingredient forms an extract excellent. This and the 3 present in the overarching story makes me wonder a bit. Okay. Essence of planetar feather? Combined with a suspension as to not dull the extract's vibrant magic. Ivory with the slightest hint of emerald and thrumming with magic. I don't think we ever got that. Yeah. Noble stalk piece. Vitriol of divine miasma. Elixir of universal resist. A thick miasma exuded by the bone shards of a dead god. For some inexplicable reason, it makes you feel safe. Alright. Potion of animal speaking. I guess just in case you need it. Okay, anything else in here? Row of books. The Unclaimed. The sturdily bound book of a cleric of Shar whose soul was never claimed from the City of Judgment. Oh, you know who we didn't get any closure on once again? Isabel and Dame Aelin. Huh. They didn't even write a letter. How odd. And I did have... Yeah. Especially given my wild theory about them. It does feel like there was something cut short there. Right? There was no good closure with their whole situation. Right? And it felt like they were really alluding to something else. Maybe I just missed it in my playthrough? Anyway. In life, her service had been impeccable. Daily did she devote herself to the Lady of Loss. Daily did she free herself from the tyranny of memory. All in time was lost to her. Her relations, her preferences, even her own name. Upon the altar of her devotion, placed she the ultimate offering. Her emptied mind. Wait, I think we had read this. Yeah, that of forgetting but being forgotten. May as well drink another. Death and Divinity, A Godly Guide. We've read that. Okay. And finally, Withers. Hello?
This one night is like any other, and yet different. Thou art the savior of Baldur's Gate, until such time it requires saving again. How dost thou feel?
I'm just glad to have a break from the hells. It's the little things. I feel satisfied. I accomplished everything I wanted to. I did my duty. No more, no less. I can't help but feel some things have been left undone. I'm getting tired. I might just go to bed. I think I've caught up with everyone. What comes next? Leave. I can't help but feel some things have been left undone.
If thou could only see the paths of fate untaken, thy mind would surely break. Be glad of thy chosen path. It is, after all, thine. Enjoy the revelry of the day. Thou deservest at least that much.
I think I've caught up with everyone. What comes next?
What indeed? Prick up thy ears and listen.
Oh?
The balance of the world restored. The balance of these lives, mortal and otherwise, brought to account. Hear me, thou heroes, wastrels, friends. I have waited long to tell you these words. It is over. For now. Thou played thy part in weaving the fabric of fate itself, but for every thread you sewed, so did the gods unravel another. Sleep, rest, revel, but be ready, for thou mayst yet be needed. Until we meet again, I wish thee every possible fortune, health, wealth, love, and above all, problems worth solving.
To Baldur's Gate, to the greatest friends I could dream of, to brains without worms and a good night's sleep, to the hope of more adventures to come. I don't know, they're all good. To the greatest friends I could dream of.
To you.
Oh, well, there we go. In loving memory of our friend and colleague Jim Southworth, cinematic animation lead. Oh yeah, I think I remember hearing about that in the news. Huh. Man, wow. Yeah, what a fucking game. I couldn't imagine playing through this and not having that epilogue. Right? Oh. Oh, wow. That's why it's called that. Kind of wish there were some subtitles or whatever for this. Captions. There's a lot more electric guitar in here than I would have ever expected. Wow. Is this one also going to have lyrics? Definitely sounds a lot different.
I feel your breath upon my neck, a soft caress as cold as death. I didn't know you well back then. I blame it on luck and vain. Your blood like wine, I want it in. Oh darling, get me drunk and make me feel it's not my fault, I'm not to blame. These ain't my sins, I broke my chains. There's more to do and I still want to live.
I feel your breath upon my neck, a soft caress as cold as death. Cold as death. I feel your heart beating my soul. Our futures bound, our bodies know.
Will Bernard's Sacred Boar? Will also played a Sacred Boar? What? Hold up, what?
It's not my fault, I'm not to blame. These ain't my sins, I broke my chains. There's more to do if I can only leave. I can't go yet, don't let me die. I'll never stop until I'm done. But just tonight, maybe I'll rest in peace.
I think I like this one even more than the first one.
Feel your breath upon my neck, a soft caress as cold as death.
I can't help but, with the first song though, with the, like, almost rock ballad way of it going, I can't help but think of the ending to Mass Effect 1. Do you know what I'm talking about? Where it just starts ripping ass in a major way.
Don't let me die. I want to live, my only one. There's more to do if we can only live. The clock won't stop and this is what we
Yeah, I just can't imagine, not to talk over this song, but I'm gonna do it. I could not fathom ending the game where it seems like it would have ended and the credits would have started to roll on the city harbor, right on the docks, That would have been fucking wild. And apparently it wasn't until patch 5 that you get the epilogue. That is so wild, right? Like, that would have been such a, like, I don't know, that would have felt pretty hollow and empty to me, like, I cannot lie, right? Thinking of ending the game without the epilogue is nuts, dude. Is that really how it was? Like, as soon as we got done seeing, like, the little brief moments of, like, Astarion fucking runs away. Is Karlach dead? Right? What's up with Gale? You know, all that shit. Would it have just ended right there? That would have been so wild. And I think further goes to sort of illustrate this sort of thing that I've, like, alluded to throughout the playthrough. And I think toward the end we just, like, outright talk about it a little bit. The character writing is ridiculously good, right? But the main through line, the main story, and, like, the themes of the game, right? All of it going through, it's kind of inconsistent, right? It's not always hitting, like, on all, well, not on all 6s, but on all 20s, I guess I'll say. Right? There's definitely some points where, which isn't to say it's necessarily bad, it's okay, right? But what makes it really stand out in not being super duper amazing is the fact that the character writing and the character stories for the companions are exceedingly good, right? They are extremely good. Like, they far overshadow like the main story quest stuff, you know? Which is why the epilogue works so well, because at the end of the day, that's kind of what we give a shit about, right? The epilogue feels so necessary and feels so integral to the game that I can't possibly, like, I cannot comprehend having the game end without it, and it even being a satisfying ending. Because, like I said, the character writing is just so incredible, and I don't know, like, in some ways, I don't know if the main through line just kind of suffers for it, the like overarching narrative, right? And there's loose ends as well, like I had mentioned with Isabel and Dame Aelin. Like, it very much had set up for stuff to be revealed about the death of Isabel, right? And it's seeming like if I had to guess, something happened with Aelin, you know? Like, Aelin seems really wild, and it would have been such a kind of beautiful bit of writing to have, I think, Ketherick just thrown himself away, right? Just completely gone down this dark path and effectively sacrifice himself, or at least everything he believed in, for the sake of his daughter, you know? To the point where she may not even be accepting of it, you know? Like, he sort of takes her fate into his hands, right? As sort of, you know, the sort of stereotypical, archetypical, overbearing parent, you know? I think that would have been really good. But regardless, they didn't really go anywhere with that. They didn't even write. You know, they didn't really even write anything. And I wonder if maybe that is due to, like, if I had gone with a different ending, more would come up. But even so many other things with like the route that I did take did have like a conclusion, right? But there wasn't really much of one, I felt, for Isabel and Aelin, for how much time they got in Act 2. And like I said, for how much it seemed like they were alluding to there being something more, right? Some sort of big reveal or whatever, right? Which, at the end of the day, in Act 3, there really wasn't that big of a reveal, right? All of the incredible emotional moments and stuff were all contained, like we've said, inside of the character arcs for, like, the core group, right? Or even side characters who had shown up, right? There was stuff with, what's his name, at Ramesses Tower that was very satisfying. It was all throughout, and it was all, like, really good character writing. It's held up by that. And I think the presence and the depths to which the epilogue goes is sort of them acknowledging it, that like, yeah, holy shit, the character writing was just truly above and beyond, right? Because without, like, man, I cannot fucking imagine how it would be without it. Like, I feel like I would feel really kind of like, wow, what an incredible game. Too bad the ending kind of was a little limp, right? Without that epilogue. Like, that is, it's so wild. Huh. Because otherwise, I don't know, the stuff with the absolute. I'm so curious how other endings will go, right? Other, like, I don't know, more sinister endings. And, like, how much variation can you get between, you know, being evil or versus being good and all of that? Like, how many different degrees of variation exist? I'm so curious. But yeah, like I said, none of that is to say that, like, the writing is bad or whatever, you know? It's just, they very clearly have, like, their domain, as it were, their skill set, and it is by far in the character writing, right? The character writing is ridiculously good. It's like I said, it's so good, other bits of the writing pale in comparison, you know? I'm so curious, as well, like we had said there in the epilogue, what do they have planned for the future, right? There's so much up in the air with Larian effectively, like, washing their hands of Baldur's Gate, being like, yeah, we did it, it's done, right? We've come to a conclusion. I'm so curious how Wizards of the Coast is going to go about it, with it, right? If they're going to want to continue, right? Like, if they do a BG4, which it sounds like they intend to, and Lord knows, Wizards of the Coast is like, has a pretty god-awful reputation right about now, right? Maybe that'll change in the future, who knows? But I'm so curious, like, who will they sign up for that? Right? Who will they sign on to work on it? And will they be able to garner, like, this really unique condition that occurred here with BG3? Like, I feel like you could reproduce those conditions again, but I feel like they're not going to want to give it that much time, right? Nor funding, you know? Which is true enough. Like, you can definitely see it is a big part of what makes the game super unique is the amount of reactivity on display, right? It is truly, like, it's astounding amounts of reactivity, right? Like, as far as narrative role-playing games go, like, Disco Elysium is the big point of comparison with how many different branches and all of that, and how many degrees of reactivity there are, right? Huh. Which, of course, you know, when we account for Baldur's Gate 3. Although I do think, yeah, if I had to say one way or the other, I do think I prefer the narrative writing in Disco, right? In the world building, which isn't really, you know, the world building isn't really theirs to tool around with, right? We don't really get an idea of how good or bad the world building at Larian is for their writing teams. I guess you would get that in Divinity Original Sin 1 and 2, you know? You would probably get that there, because otherwise they're just building off of pre-existing stuff in a lot of ways. Your world building, you do have some that you can do, but you're very much constrained, right? And I would say that character writing in Disco versus BG3 is roughly equivalent. No? I would say so. Yeah, I'm so curious as to not just what will happen. Right. There's a question of what's Larian going to do next. It sounds like they're cooking up 2 games, and then what's next for Baldur's Gate? Because I feel like there's right. I feel like there's just no shot it's gonna be able to live up to not just BG3, but sort of the legacy of BG1 and 2. You know, there's just no way, right? I mean, I guess it's possible. But based on what we know of Wizards of the Coast right now, as they currently exist, people in like the seats of power there at that company, like, it really doesn't seem like they're out there looking to make this shit happen again, right? It looks like they're out there looking to think of how can we get some moolah out of this, you know? But I don't know. Maybe we'll be surprised. I'm open to it. But yeah, like I said, the production values are like ridiculous all throughout the game. You get all of the different degrees of reactivity, which require time and resources, right? You have like one-off areas and tile sets that get used for just like one character's little arc or whatever, you know, whether that be like Astarion going to Cazador's place, which has both the mansion interior tile set as well as the underground dungeon part. You get stuff like the House of Hope, which is literally like one fucking level. It's ridiculous, right? That they would make, and that we saw like unique animations that never get used ever fucking again. Of course, all of the different branching dialogue things are not just voice acted, which is a feat in and of itself, which is a huge expenditure in and of itself, but they're all mocapped, right? That is absurd, right? They're either mocapped or hand animated, maybe a combination of the two. I don't even know, right? I don't fucking know. It is truly wild. Yeah, I'm very curious to, like I said before throughout the playthrough, we've come to the end of this one. I absolutely want to do a Dark Urge playthrough on the channel, right? Absolutely. I imagine it will be significantly quicker. We won't do a lot of the reading that we did this time around. We'll probably like scan through stuff, and if there's new reading, we'll read that. But otherwise, I don't intend to reread through stuff. Nor do I intend to be super thorough with like searching buildings and all of that, unless it's a brand new area that somehow we get to, which I guess is possible. And going beyond that, I guess once we come to the end of the Dark Urge playthrough, we'll see how both I feel and how sort of like viewership feels, right? With regards to like numbers game versus people who are watching, how interested they would be to see sort of alternating between another CRPG and then going back to Baldur's Gate 3 to do another origin run, right? Because like I said, depending on how I feel, I'd be down to do origin runs for every single fucking character, but it would take a long ass time, right? It would be very lengthy. And that said, of course, make no mistake about it, as far as the channel is concerned, BG3 has been like the wildest success for the CRPG slot, right? By a long shot, right? It's been ridiculously good as far as viewership and like long-term viewership is concerned. It's been pretty good. So mostly it's going off of the other metrics, that being like how I feel about doing it and how other people who are watching feel about being interested in that. But like I said, for now, for the time being, I'm very interested in the Dark Urge stuff. And from the sounds of it, it varies very differently. I'm very curious about that. Like I said, I have plans to... I already have ideas of what I want to do with that when we do get around to it. The next game we play for the CRPG slot will be Planescape Torment. And I've been thinking of... for the Dark Urge, part of me has been debating, like, should I do a sorcerer? I definitely want to make my character be one that isn't represented by the rest of the party, right? So I'm thinking maybe either sorcerer, probably not monk. That doesn't feel right to me for Dark Urge, right? Thematically, it doesn't make too much sense. I mean, maybe it could, and I just don't have enough understanding of monks. That's possible. Maybe a paladin, but isn't the other follower, what's her name? Minthara, that we lost out on? I think by default she's a paladin. And just as well, I may want to respec people around too. You know? Because true enough, for the future playthrough or playthroughs, I'm totally down to fully respec the core group into other characters. I mean, of course, you know, if we need like a fighter and we have what's her name in the party, Lazelle, of course I'll have her be a fighter, you know, rather than have it be like, oh, okay, I'm gonna make Lazelle a wizard and Gale a fighter. You know. That said, a lot of their stuff is kind of married to a lot of their class identity is kind of married to their personal arcs. You know, there's other characters that are a bit more nebulous, like Astarion, I think, being a rogue could kind of get away with most anything. I feel. I mean, like, maybe a druid Astarion would be a little fucking weird. Though maybe a spores druid, you know? I don't know. Or someone like Will. Like, it's difficult to envision Will as anything but a warlock. I don't know. That's other things I'm very curious about. Is those origin runs. Is like, how are things gonna go with that? I'm so curious about that, the little differences or significant differences. Right, like I can't help but think, in my partner and I, in our playthrough, we've recently cleared Act 2. And we got this sort of Selûne, like I've been I've been having her sort of make all of the choices for the narrative direction of the game, and I'm just sort of like the sidekick, as it were, right? Just sort of like combat backup and all of that. And mostly, for the most part, it's her playthrough, right? And we got Selûne Shadowheart, and there's that point where sort of Shadowheart is like, oh, I saw like what felt like years of torment, and it was just like a minute or something like that. Like, I have to imagine if you play as Shadowheart, would you not see that? I'm very curious about stuff like that. I'm like I said, right now, if I had to say, I'd be down to keep alternating between BG3 and then like another CRPG until we keep banging out these origins and all of that. I guess what I'm really curious about is how quickly would we go through them, you know? How quickly? Like, I would imagine we could get it done in under 200 videos. Even sooner, once we start kicking up the average runtime of all videos, right? Which I want to definitely get to the point of doing. To where they're all, like, on average 2 hours long. 2 a day, 2 hours long. I very much like the feel of that, the idea of that. But yeah, I'm thinking, next Dark Urge, when we do Dark Urge on the next playthrough, I'm thinking of being like a fucked up dude, right? I'm thinking of leaning into it, being a bit fucked up. Though, that said, at the same time, I am curious about, like, if you try and lean away from it. You know? That sounds very fascinating to me as well. Huh. I don't know. But yeah, I think for at least YouTube, for playing through it again, I'm very curious about being, like, pretty fucked up and evil. And I'm leaning towards Sorcerer and maybe Lulthsworn Drow is what I'm thinking. Part of me also wants to do, once again, with, like, character race, I would love to have it be a character that isn't represented, like a character race that isn't represented by the core group, the core 6, in the event that we did do all or a lot of the origin runs, right? Which would mean, you know, Lazelle definitely covers the bases when it comes to Githyanki, you know? But I'd be super curious about stuff like Drow. How many differences are there between Seldarine and Lulthsworn? Dwagar is super interesting to me. Deep Gnome is really interesting to me, right? There's a lot of Deep Gnome stuff that could be going on. I have no idea how Dragonborn would even go. But that said, I never really liked stuff like playing as a Dragonborn. That's just never really been me, right? I don't know. They're a little too stand out for me, right? I can't help but equate them to playing as like a godlike in Pillars of Eternity. You know, it's a little too much for me. And maybe that's a bad take from me, right? Maybe that's like maybe that's me coming on too strong and I'm missing out on something that would be super rad. I don't know. But just as well, I've started a 4-player co-op game with some IRL friends and my partner, and that has been really wild. And there are differences there as well, some subtle ones, by virtue of not being able to have any of the like core 6 with you at all. Kind of changes things. And there's parts where like our 4 characters will start voicing out stuff and talking to each other, right? By virtue of like the voice you pick at the start of the game. You know, we will all start like speaking up and talking in some ways. Not like in dialogue properly, but you know, by like the ambient dialogue and all of that. As we walk through areas, our characters will comment on junk like that. It's really fascinating. And I'm so curious how stuff like that will go down by way of not having, and like literally not being able to bring certain characters with us for kind of pivotal moments. I'm so curious how that'll go down, right? It's like another weird way in which you can play the game, and it seems like they've got some stuff to be reactive and account for it. It's super wild. I don't know. Yeah, like I said, the amount of reactivity, production values, it's through the roof. It's on par with right, it's on par with how good the character writing is. It's truly absurd. Man, I feel like I actually managed to talk through a lot of the credits here. You know, someone wrote in remarking that this would be a shorter video. Right? Someone wrote in saying that like, oh, I bet he's got like 2 or 3 more videos to go or whatever. Right? That this one, like, if I save the epilogue for last, it might be shorter. And here we are, kind of like nearing like 3 hours or something. Like, yeah, just over 2.5. Good lord. This is really going to mean that I have to put out videos really fucking late today. Oh, good lord. I thought that this would take like 40 minutes. I thought that that's what I was signing up for. Holy shit. If I knew this were the case, maybe I would have skipped out today on the 4-player co-op thing that we did. Nah, I couldn't have skipped out. Who would I be to skip out on that? Yeah, I'm so curious what would happen as well if you sided with certain people, right? Like, what would happen if you just straight up allied with, like, Gortash or Orin or Raphael? You know? What if you just always stayed loyal to them? What the fuck would happen? But I feel like that makes for such a great difference in the ending, you know, let alone stuff like, oh, I'm going to give in to the absolute, right? I'm going to, right there, we had that one binary choice toward the end where it was like, just fuck it all up, destroy that shit, or just conquer everything. You know, what if you just chose it? You know, I don't know. It's fucking wild. What if you just fucking like, yeah, Gale, go blow him up. Right? It's so wild. The amount of variations are ridiculous. Yeah, I don't know. I can't help but wonder, what if, narratively speaking, other shit like that is even more satisfying, right? What if this was... What if that's like the true ending is like a fucked up one, an evil ending or something? What if that's the one that feels the most satisfying to me? Because like I said, this was okay. but not nearly as good as the character writing, the character arcs, which were through the roof and incredibly emotional. I will give the game, though, not that this is any metric to go by, but I was kind of bracing that this game might bring me to tears, but it never quite did. Perhaps I'm simply just getting older and more accustomed to tragedy, right? Or maybe I have very specific things that bring me to tears, right? But yeah, BG3 didn't do it to me. At least not yet. I don't know, maybe a future playthrough will. Maybe that will do it. But true enough, I was kind of bracing for it, and it never happened. As someone who, in the past, has been a bit of a crybaby. Cried at Disco, cried at Pentiment. None here. Okay, you know what? I did say that I thought that I had talked through the majority of the credits, and I don't think that's true. Oh, you know what? Someone else also wrote in that there is a post-credits scene. What's it gonna say? Withers will return? in Baldur's Gate 4? What the fuck? Withers will return in Avengers Doomsday. What the hell? Could you imagine? I'm surprised we didn't get like an outward response as well about like Withers' identity. But I feel like that's fitting to not fully know, right? I feel like it works too, to keep it somewhat mysterious and be like, yeah, you probably know what's going on here, huh? I kind of like that. And just as well, like I said, judging by what it seems like Dark Urge will heavily involve, it may show up there. And I think as well for future playthroughs, we'll be a bit more keen on spoilery thumbnails and stuff. Like this, for this first playthrough, I've been pretty hesitant to include anything even remotely spoilery. Like we had said before, as soon as it happened to Will, as soon as it happened to Shadowheart, I just stopped putting them in thumbnails, right? They just stopped showing up. As well as, you know, bigger events as well. None of them ever showed up. And maybe for the future we'll steer away from that, because I feel like, you know, that's maybe enough time. Right? Enough time is perhaps passed, especially with, you know, the cross-play update. Because I could see a lot of people waiting to play for that update. Lord knows I know some people in real life who I'm doing a cross-play playthrough with. Right? Oh, wow, maybe we're getting... Wow, holy shit, this might finally be it. Oh, wow, yeah. Yeah, if this were a movie, once we start seeing the graphics, right, the little logos and whatnot, that's how you know we've nearly made it. Yeah, I was surprised to learn recently that they were, oh wow, powered by Microsoft and Azure PlayFab. Huh. Huh, okay. But yeah, part of me was, yeah, that's so wild because it didn't launch on, right? It didn't launch day on their platforms. That's really wild. Okay. Yeah, I'm so curious what they're doing at Larian with 2 games. 2 of them. I have to assume they won't be... I think they've come out and said, right? But it won't be... It won't be as big. Which I think I'm okay with, right? I'd be down for like a shorter one where our first playthrough would, instead of 250 plus videos, it takes like 100, 150. I'm game for that. What I would like though is even more reactivity and branching stuff, you know? Oh, look, they've committed. CRPG is classic RPGs. Not computer, but classic. I think everyone has their own definition for it, what the C in CRPG is.
There thou art, the dead three. Thy faces gods, thy actions barely worthy of the name. Didst truly believe thy ploy would succeed? Didst believe I would not notice? Thou soughtst to bolster thy strength by taking away the souls of mortals. But souls vanish when their hosts become mind flayers. Didst think the other gods would not notice? Gods thou may be, yet thou hast proven thyself fools. Everyone. The supplication of Bane, the whimper of Bhaal, the death mule of Merkel. Felled by mortals, I overestimated thee. They did not. Vermin, away. Thou wilt trouble us no more.
Man, I guess I should look up stuff about Yergel. I guess I should do that. Alright, well, here we have it. We're back once again at the title screen. As I often say at the end of these playthroughs, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for liking, commenting, subscribing, hitting up crowdfunding options like YouTube membership or tipping with the super chat stuff, or on Patreon or Coffee or any sort of situation like that. Even if you're just watching this video for some reason, just as the ending, this is the only thing that you've watched. As always, that's very weird, but I thank you for your time nonetheless, and it's always an honor to be part of someone's life for whatever increment that may be. It is an honor to be part of someone's valuable free time, right? In whatever capacity it may be. Or at the very least, the free time as allotted by your ears, perhaps while you do something else, right? The second screen experience, as it were. Anyway, hopefully we'll see you for the next CRPG playthrough, which, as I said, will be a little bit further down the line than I would like, because we've kind of entered the chaos zone on the channel. We will wrap up some of our errant strands, our strings, which we have left hanging. I'm going to wrap up Fallout 3 and Avowed and stuff like that before we continue on to Planescape Torment, and then after Planescape Torment, we will boot up Baldur's Gate 3 once more for the Dark Urge playthrough, which I'm very much looking forward to. Alright, that ought to do it for now. Once again, thank you very much. Until next time, but if there is no next time, thank you nonetheless. Please, take care of each other.